and welcome to another episode of Not for Nothing. We are here in New York, which is super exciting. And Sarah had a funny topic that she wanted us to discuss today. We were reminiscing over how Britney Spears got married to Jason Alexander. And it was kind of on a whim. Didn't they get married for what, like 24 hours?
I think so.
And
it was in Vegas.
It was in Vegas, and it was like this whirlwind situation. But she talks about it as in like something she did because she was bored.
That's so real.
And it made us think about like what are some of the craziest things we've done just because we're bored.
Like purely out of boredom.
Surely.
And I honestly Britney Spears' memoir, it's just gonna be a smash hit. Honestly, I can't wait to read it. But she said, she's like, honestly, we were just bored and thought it would be funny. And I was like, wow, it's such like a young adult answer. And I would say the thing that comes to mind initially is playing with matches. Because it's like, why?
So
like,
real.
You're not a pyro. You're just lighting them for no reason.
I will say it's an important skill to learn.
You should have the skill.
And a lot of people don't, which is crazy.
Very true.
To see people not know how to light matches.
Yeah, especially because you have the pussy weed matches. I'm sure you see people like
all the time.
That's sort of
They're like, how does that work?
You're like, I'll teach you a basic skill of survival.
Like, this is actually very useful for you. But match literacy.
We have a famous story in our household.
Yeah.
I remember. I think it was a lighter, or maybe it was matches. My sister got caught by my mom when she was young, and she was like playing with one or the other. And my mom said the craziest words that ever came out of her mouth. She's like, "What are you, weird?" Like my sister was like, "I'm just doing it for fun." Like, and my mom couldn't understand it because I don't know if she's ever been that bored, where she's been like lighting a lighter or matches just for the fuck of it.
For the fuck of it.
Yeah. The answer should have been like, no, I'm not weird. I'm just bored. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
What about you? What's like the weirdest thing like you've done out of boredom?
Did you ever make potions as a kid?
Oh yeah.
That was like a big like, let's just make potions.
Let's make potions. Let's literally fucking waste money and time.
And
let's
like
throw
products.
Soap, leaves from outside into a potion. That's a good one. Actually, I like that a lot. I would say when I was younger, organizing. Now it's something I truly avoid.
Yeah, that was more of a kid thing. I'd be like,
I'm gonna rearrange my bedroom
or like pack things.
Yeah,
I had like a mini suitcase, like a toy suitcase.
I never reached that level,
and I pretended to like go somewhere.
Like I'm going on a business trip, and now it's like an hour before your flight, and you're like,
you were asking me if I had packed for New York the other night, and I was like, no, I'm gonna do that at 10 a.m. when I'm trying to leave by 9:30.
Literally. Dude, I hate that. Yeah, I guess out of boredom, I've picked up a lot of expensive hobbies out of boredom. Tried to do my own nails. I've, what other things? Like a lot of crafting. A lot
of crafting and a lot of like, did we talk about this yet on the podcast where I bought the like the at-home waxing kit where you put in the microwave?
Yes.
And it fell on my leg, and I have a scar to this day.
Oh my God.
Like it burned my skin because it like fell out of it, basically stuck to my hand, and I knew it was too hot, but then as it stuck to my hand, it like poured into my leg. But definitely like at home waxing when you're bored.
So that was for fun.
It was out of boredom.
Wow, dude, that's crazy. I learned how to grow mushrooms out of boredom.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, this seems like a fun pandemic hobby. And then it became like some tism that I added to my resume.
Would you get married out of boredom?
I feel like when I was younger.
Yeah, younger, like, yes. Now I'm like, oh, this sounds like so much tax stuff I have to like declare.
Dude, it sounds like getting married is like something that would make me bored.
Yeah, like the whole process would just be like anxious boredom.
Exactly. But she's so real for that. I could see myself at like 18, I'd be like, yeah, let's go to Vegas and get married. Why not?
Like that, I feel like going to strip clubs in New York is definitely like a weird experience because it's
also out of boredom.
And it's not really like, it's not part of the culture here like it would be in Miami.
Atlanta. Yeah, exactly.
Like where they are actually cool clubs that
are performers.
Yeah, in New York it's.
Don't get me wrong, there are performers. Like, it's hard, but, like, it's just less of a true show.
You're going there because you're bored.
You're bored and you, like, maybe want to look cool.
Yeah, and you're like a big group, and you're
Yep.
like, where will we get in as a big group of guys? Because
Exactly.
they won't get into anywhere else.
And you can get in as 18 plus, and you don't have to
Yeah.
necessarily be 21 at all the spots. Crazy.
Go to hookah bars. That was also pure boredom. Like,
that's all I did, literally between 18 and 21.
like, none of us really like. Yeah, it's fun to do, but like obviously it's more fun to smoke weed. Like,
And sometimes the hookah around the city is just fucking nasty.
and expensive.
Hell yeah.
You're
But
just
it'd be like 10 heads on one hookah pipe just so we could hang out and talk.
like just so we could be at the spot.
Yep.
And like have a spot.
Literally, just to be seated somewhere where you wouldn't get yelled at.
Literally.
Boredom. Bored kids in NYC. What a time.
Not getting married.
No, definitely not. But respect to her.
I think it's funny as fuck.
So you think there's a shortage issue?
I think there's a huge shortage issue.
And what's that? Like, I mean, definitely like certain things. There's a shortage of sriracha right now, which is devastating. And I actually heard that the sriracha shortage might not ever be solved.
Oh, that's what it may be like a big problem.
Forever thing. Because there's no more chilies because of the environment.
Exactly.
Oh my God, it's making me sick.
It's so crazy.
I love sriracha and I don't know if I'm ready to ever give it up. Sorry again, my nose is so motherfucking itchy.
But more than a shortage of money and chilies, there's a shortage of hot men.
You don't say.
And I don't mean just externally.
Yeah? Educationally too?
Or internally. Yeah, like not even education, just like
humor,
niceness. Like personalities are not hot.
I gotta say too, like it's also physical. Like it's been a long time
100%
since I've been on the subway or on the street where I'm just like, wow, that person is actually breathtaking.
Same.
And like maybe it's like the city's getting us down.
Maybe.
Like we're honestly very weathered ourselves. I don't think we're ones to be talking right now.
I'm like the most raggedy, rundown girl, and I'm like, there's no hot people.
There's just no more eye candy in this world.
But it's true. I used to be on the subway, and it was like kind of a treat.
And it's not fair because there's still hot women around.
And it's really, and it made me think a lot about the fact that like maybe the trends and styles that young men are adopting are just not to our liking.
Because they all are dressing like old men.
They're all dressing like, because Larry David, hot.
For his age.
Larry David wannabe, cringe.
Very, very deeply cringe.
Like Adam Sandler, hot-ish. Like if you're into that style, he is like the father of it. But wannabe Adam Sandlers.
I think there's more women who are wannabe Adam Sandlers right now than men.
Which is also
alarming and unhot.
Unhot, and also just like, it doesn't mean you're a man that you're wearing shorts.
Right. Yeah.
Like, why are you?
Basketball shorts and a fucking t-shirt and an oversized jacket.
Why don't you compare yourself to somebody? Like, there are women who dress like that too.
Yeah. It's true. It's bad. It's a bad look overall.
It's
not that I don't dress like Adam Sandler. I really do sometimes. I swear I do. But like, it's definitely not aspirational for me.
But yeah, the style, it's in a dire situation. Not loving it.
Okay. So, you know, a lot of movies have come out recently. I saw the new Saw movie. Scary but good. Very good.
I don't like scary movies.
Loved it.
You didn't even go see Barbie. I had to like explain to you.
Yeah.
Mark's video.
Yeah, I'm just like
Mark made the most incredible video because I'm no longer at the studio as much, and neither is Sarah. And Liz was also out of town for a while, and so like Mark and Alex were kind of like the boys running petty cash. And so he sent us a really funny video of him where he like removed the door sign and put it like Mark's, what is it, dojo?
I don't remember because I didn't see the movie.
It was so funny.
It was cute though. I really liked it.
He was really committed to the bit.
He had his Ken outfit on.
Yeah, he was really committed.
It was really cute.
It was funny as fuck. But Sarah didn't understand the joke, and I had to like literally explain it to her.
Like a baby.
I was like, so Barbie at one point leaves, and Ken discovers misogyny.
I don't know what to say. I'm not a Barbie girl. I'm just in a Barbie world.
That's very true. You're like, I don't need to see a movie about myself.
Exactly. Like, I run this bitch. Come on. But like, scary movie and scary movie season, and it's like, you know, in the colder months, it's like, you know, it's time to binge scary movies. So, yeah, I think the new Exorcist came out or something, a movie that has to deal with demonic possessions. Okay. And I wanted to get your take on demonic possessions. Like, do you believe in them? Like, do you believe that someone could literally, like, you see the videos, of course, in like the mega churches and stuff where
Yeah.
people are like,
Speaking in
you know,
tongues.
and just start like having like some kind of
Yeah.
seizure. Do you think A, it's the devil, and B, that like someone could actually be possessed, and what a possession actually looks like?
Well, first of all, I don't believe in the devil.
Oh, you don't? Do Jews not believe in the devil?
I don't know. Even if they did,
Oh.
I don't know if I would.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that was, I was like, wow.
Well, I don't think in Judaism there's like heaven and hell the same way.
Okay.
Um,
Do you guys believe in negative entities? Like,
I don't think there's really like an afterlife.
so just nothing happens.
No, it's just you're good.
Neutrality.
Yeah, you're like
Just
in this limbo.
everything
Yeah.
stops. Okay.
I don't know. Don't quote me on this, but
Okay.
but I do think some of these people are like extremely mentally unwell
Mm-hmm.
and are possessed by their disorders.
Totally agree.
I don't think it's the devil or like an external source. I also think they're like extremely brainwashed.
Mm-hmm.
And
By religion?
by religion and like
Uh-huh.
the leaders, you know,
Mhm.
around them.
Of course.
Who in a way they could be the devil possessing them, like
Totally.
these like leaders of certain like our cult leaders, and
Mm-hmm.
they're
And people who like
indoctrinating you. And so I think
are
that
mega money behind their preaching.
yeah, like I don't think everybody's fully faking it.
Mm-hmm.
I think some people are like absolutely like in belief that this is the reality.
Mm-hmm.
But I personally do not think they are actually possessed by any otherworldly.
So you think that they think that they're possessed? There are some people
I do
who
think that there's
truly
some
do
people
think that they are possessed.
I do think there are some people who are like absolutely living a delusion
that they believe that
Yeah.
is their reality.
And that is
Totally.
really sad. Like I
I
think there
agree.
are some people who are like, and some of these like videos and stuff, it feels just like again like trauma porn, like people
Mhm.
like being like, oh, this is so weird and crazy, and I'm like, no, but this person's like so unwell.
Yeah,
Like they
100%.
need psychiatric intervention that is of the not religious type.
Yep, I get you completely. I'm like that's why I don't really find an appeal in like demonic possession movies, because I'm like, I've watched all the Conjurings and stuff, and it's like, yeah, it's a little bit crazy. There's some jump scares and stuff. It's like, yeah, the Annabelle is like super creepy, but like I don't know if I necessarily believe that the devil, like I believe it in subtle ways, right? And I come from a religion that does believe in the devil, right? And it's just like I don't think that the devil would necessarily go inside of somebody and act out on their behalf.
No.
I think that maybe like, okay, like let's say someone is going through a downward spiral, and like, you know, maybe they're into drugs and they're really spiraling and their life is getting out of control and they're losing their job, and it's like one thing after the other. Bad relationships, like disappointing your family, like so many things that come with like addiction and like bad things and making bad decisions. Yeah. But I think like, okay, maybe from a religious perspective, like maybe you're being pulled down by like negative entities of some kind, but I don't exactly believe that the devil is going inside of you to possess you, if that makes sense.
And I kind of low-key believe that if there was a devil, he's like, or they're kind of like within every, like I think there are devilish situations around. Yep. And that's really what causes like your downfall, is like
choosing that,
around being around people who are like embracing all these negative stuff.
100%.
And I hate to be this person, but I truly believe that like a lot of our contemporary extremist politicians are like embracing this devilish thing instead of embracing morality and like what's important for the general public. It's just about them and their like motives. And I think that's how you like become the devil, is like
I agree with you
when you become so self-centered on like your personal, like whether it be financial or whatever goals.
Yep. That you skew things like whatever way will get you your way.
Exactly. Once you like lose community and like taking care of others and the well-being of others, it's over.
I totally agree. And I also think that like, I know in Christianity they say like an antichrist is coming. So it's
what does that mean?
It means that basically like a person who will pose as a good person or somebody who's godly, who is secretly posing that way. And I a
I
lot
think
of
they're
speculations
everywhere.
about whether they're politicians.
Yeah, and I think
And like,
that's
you
a
know, so
lot
they
of
say
people
like
are.
Hitler could have been an antichrist. They say that there's 3 in all of humanity.
How do you know this stuff?
My boyfriend's
Oh,
Christian.
okay.
No,
I know his name's Christian.
no.
It's my favorite joke.
You're so stupid. No, but
I love that you're sharing this stuff.
No, it's like it's actually
Because
interesting
then
to
I
me.
get to learn. Thank you, Christian.
So it's like you learn that so like there's other people in the past who like they say like Napoleon could have been an antichrist.
Interesting.
And they believe that there is one more coming. So people speculate that they're among us right now, and it could be a politician, it could be somebody like that,
like a DT.
Yeah, exactly, an op, a secret op.
Wow,
crazy, right? So I think
what else have you learned?
So many things. It'll come up, I'm sure, in other combos. Okay, so all right, I know you're one of these people. Not demonic. We're moving on from demons. All right, so this is something I see a lot, and it's thrown my way, I think, because it is a neurodivergent symptom. So, like, they're like, when you open the drawer and the last spoon is the one that you hate for no fucking reason. And I'm like, I personally have never experienced that type of symptom. And I don't understand how it's possible to hate a certain spoon. Like, I mean, I get it if it like gives you a blister or something, but I'm like, what is the reason?
You don't have like a particular mug or something that's like your favorite?
I have favorite, but I don't have least favorites. You know?
Yeah.
I'm especially with silverware. I'm just like, it's all the fucking same set for the most part.
No, like I feel like that's where in my house we have like, you know, silverware for like actual meals, but then my mom would let us only use like spoons that were like, you know, the random ones you got with cereal and shit like that.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
for the breakfast.
I definitely have some mismatch in my mom's house. Yeah, and like I have some straggler knives
like,
and
breakfast
stuff.
silverware was always kind of different, like more casual. And there was always like a fight over like the breakfast spoons because there's always like a favorite, a least favorite, like, ugh, this one's kind of falling apart, like I don't want it, or like this one changes color in the milk. I
used to love that one.
Right, but then one of them, like, we had one that was a faulty color changer.
And that was the worst one.
It didn't change anymore.
Right.
It had gone in the dishwasher and now was only the hot color, you know?
Oh, no.
You know, we had like melted. And so that was like the least favorite.
Wow, that's sad. What about in adulthood? Do you have a least favorite? Even if it's like they're all silver. They're all so adult.
Now it's different because I just moved into a new spot that has like I went to Target and got like a 5-pack.
They're all the same.
I don't even care.
So I'll come back to you in 5 years when you have some mismatch.
Yeah, like they're all great right now because they're all brand new.
Okay, cool. That's a follow-up question, I guess.
Yeah, catch us back on my utensils dynamic. Maybe I'll start a soap opera about my utensils.
Catch us on Not For Nothing season 26.
Where my spoons act out.
Okay, so you told me that the laws around alcohol in New York recently changed.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
It's such a great moment, right? It's such a important policy for New York that now you can buy alcohol on Sunday mornings.
You didn't used to be able to?
No, not until 12.
Is that why brunch spots would like open at 12?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
Or I don't know if that's why, but like, especially those boozy brunch places, they're not like serving anyone prior to being able to serve alcohol. I also am not sure about what the different, like if the law affects just purchasing from a liquor store.
Right, or restaurants as well.
Because that's also like, you know, you can't host brunch on a Sunday if you were to drink and you can't have alcohol.
Right. Wow. And if you want to drink before noon, I guess you're really a scumbag anyway.
And it made me think about all the important and great things New York State is doing. And there's just been so much talk about alcohol recently. Like there was that other moment.
That's what Mayor Adams is busy doing?
Well, this is Governor Hochul.
Good for her. I'm so proud of her.
And you remember
she's made a lot of great moves lately.
I sent you that tweet where she like there was a big game the Bills or whatever, what's the Buffalo team?
Yeah. Football.
But it was playing early and it was a big deal cuz she like put out a order that would allow bars to serve alcohol earlier.
Good for her. It's not like she has alcoholism or anything. She's really showing her fucking colors.
Yet you guys are policing the cannabis industry is an absolute disaster in New York.
A shit show.
It's a shit show of like the highest proportion. But I'm so glad we're pushing alcohol. It's really a narrative we needed at this time.
And speaking of pushing alcohol, like, when did we decide that small businesses needed to continue suffering? Because
yeah.
during the pandemic, New York made a reversal on their law that was like, you can now accept alcohol deliveries, which there are alcohol deliveries, like if you are doing Drizzly or like Uber Eats or something specific for
Mm-hmm.
alcohol. But
Yeah.
restaurants were able to be like, okay, if they had margaritas in
Yeah.
store, you'd be able to pack up a margarita to go. The delivery guy checks your ID at the door and you're all good to go.
And I'm not going to lie, like, I don't drink that much anymore. But when the pandemic first hit and I was living at my parents' house,
Dude, same.
we definitely ordered the margaritas to go. It was so fun.
It was very fun.
It gave us
because it was like
and also the tequila came on the side. So a lot of the time we would just put like a little bit.
And you're in control of how much it has.
We were
I
like,
love that.
And so it was cool. You're like making a margarita at home.
That's
like,
pretty cool.
The world is ending.
Like, I also, I lived near New Apollo, the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
And at that time, and I got a blue Hawaiian. I was getting Henny Coladas. It was fun.
Yeah.
But
ordering a lot of like single beers for some reason. Also because it was a time when you felt so bad having a delivery. You weren't going to be like,
right.
just get me my one sandwich.
Right.
It was like, let me low key get my groceries.
Exactly. And I just don't understand why that's not an always thing.
And I didn't even realize it was gone up until last time I was in New York and I was ordering sushi with my dad and he was like, oh, add like a Sapporo. And I was like, it doesn't say that you can add alcohol anymore.
So
and
sad.
he was so bummed. He literally made me walk across the street to the bodega to go get him beer.
Honestly, like, I don't blame him. It's like really sad.
He was like, but I was looking, and we're not a big drinking family, so when
he only had a single beer.
Exactly.
Like, let the man enjoy his meal.
He likes his Corona Light with sushi delivery.
Oh, he's so cute.
And like a Cosmo once in a while.
Oh, I love that.
It's so funny. But again,
what is the gender binary, you know?
He's like, I love a Cosmo. I don't care. He's like, I'm 65. Like,
let the man enjoy his fucking Cosmo.
He's like, I'm married with 2 kids. No one's gonna.
Who's checking me?
Yeah. But he used to get Cosmos like delivery during the pandemic.
Oh, what a cutie! Let the man have his Cosmos.
And I don't know why they. And I feel we were having this conversation in a previous episode about like the increase in chains in New York. And I think that partially due to the fact that a lot of small business food establishments were unable to sustain life during the pandemic and even post-pandemic.
Especially post-pandemic.
And
I think
now they remove the alcohol from being delivery and stuff like that.
That brings down the whole order total. And the margin
is so
and the tip.
Huge compared to what you can make on food.
Even for the delivery person, it's like your tip by default was going to be higher because the total of this order was higher just from a drink, you know?
It's so weird.
It's really
And I
gross.
don't understand how, like what, like
what made you reverse that?
Like why was that so bothersome to you?
I don't understand at all.
But I do think there's a general like situation where we should, I don't know why alcohol is like so embraced in policy versus like cannabis, which we know is medicinal and therapeutic.
It's so weird. It's because they don't understand anything and they need like to do research and actually listen instead of thinking that they know all of it. I went to Albany on that trip that you notoriously created the design for.
Which is so crazy.
Yeah. So I went on an Albany trip to advocate for cannabis legalization in New York. Yeah. And
it was one of the last lobby days before it actually passed.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it may have been like
the last one.
The last one. And we were speaking to like people in local government. Yeah. And I remember there was this one politician that I was speaking with and I was just, he didn't want to hear anything.
Yeah, especially in Albany.
He was Brooklyn based. He was a Brooklyn based councilman. And he's just like, I'm sorry, I don't want to hear it. Like, I know that the negatives outweigh the positives and people keep talking about taxes. And I'm just like, you are literally so old school that you don't even have questions. I'll tell you about whatever you want to hear. Ask the right questions and you will get answers. But you are just committed to being ignorant.
And I think that's one of the most dangerous parts of legalization in New York that people are taking for granted is that it really only passed by a very, like, what is the expression? By the hair on your back?
Let's say by a thread.
Like it barely passed. And
skin of their teeth?
Yeah. And the only reason realistically is because Cuomo was about to be investigated for sexual assault allegations and he needed like good graces
to get some of the heat off. Yep.
And that's the bill was like pretty much the same as it had been rejected in previous. So it was really like a bullshit way. And it could very easily go in a bad direction, and it's already going in a bad direction, but there's like no assurances that like this can be sustained.
100%.
Like if one day they're like, this is a sham of a industry, we're gonna pass a different bill that's gonna like not make this legal. They could.
It's super whack. It's very whack. And I'm glad more people are standing on their footing here about it. And I'm glad more people are getting involved. And I'm glad it's created jobs. And I'm glad we're getting tax money from it.
No, it's great. Like,
because I think that will start to sway the opinion.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that it has to happen in this order. But I'm glad that it's at least begun.
Yeah. And I think it'll be interesting because next year will be their last year of the current people that have been appointed to the OCM. And so we'll see if the governor appoints them again or if she goes in like a completely different direction of who she's going to hire.
Scary.
Because right now it's pretty cool. It's mostly Black, like New Yorkers. I don't think anybody from outside New York.
That's dope. Hopefully nothing changes.
People who have been like activists for years in the space. So it's like, you know that they're not like a random.
I mean, we'll see. It depends if Kathy Hochul is demonically possessed.
Who knows? Yeah, maybe she's just boozing it up.
Maybe she got the devil in her.
I mean, she definitely has the devil.
Well, that was another episode of Not for Nothing. We hope you tune in next week. Every Tuesday, we're back with a new ep. Watch us wherever you stream or watch your favorite podcasts. I'm Sarah. You can follow me at How Can I Help You? You can follow the pod at Not for Nothing Pod across all platforms.
And you can follow me at Natasha Pierzy or Pussyweed. And don't forget to register to vote and to vote in your local elections.
Coming up in November.